Alright guys, it's Benny2595 and welcome back to another MOAB Mondays episode, and today I'm bringing you a gameplay of well, it's sort of new, you could say, a black box, and it's a domination game. And well, I'm going to give you a few tips for this map. I've had a few success, or quite a bit of success you could say, with this map when it comes to MOABs. Today I've had, I think, five MOABs on this map, and they've all been using the same technique, which some might say it's camping. Well, personally, I mean, for me, camping for me is, in fact, I'll tell you about that in a sec. This little route that I'm rushing to see where that guy was just there, that I just blatted. When the enemies spawn on the other side, I think they spawn, it's not really got a name, but it's the C flag spawn. We spawned at the bottom left there, which is like front drive at A flag. And what that guy just did is basically the patented sort of rushing route, but I use I think it's a Semtex I use, or a standard frag would work if you cook it a bit. And you basically want to shut off the enemy because they rush, as you just saw myself as well as my rest of my teammate doing. They tend to rush down that route, and it's a guaranteed sort of first blood, and I usually always get it. Krakoon tries to beat me, but that's my patented nade. His patented nade route is the rushing to B flag with the intentions of landing a nade or a Semtex onto A flag on the map. What is it? A village. And but this is mine. This is definitely my patented nade. So fuck you. But yeah, luckily I got away with that because the enemy didn't seem to be. Well, it was a sniper, I think. Plus, he didn't seem to be aware of that sort of nade spot. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So this map, it's for me, what I'm going to show you here is this building that I'm in is construction, and the building directly in front of me there is called Sunhouse, and the building slightly directly in front of me there is called what's that called? Mansion, and that is obviously the plane. And I'm stating the obvious now, but yeah, my point is hold down construction. That's my tip, even though I just get shat on. My tip is to basically hold down construction. Motion sensors are extremely useful. When this map first came out, this map was horrible. I still think Liberation is the worst map on the game, and it still plays terrible. I mean, the spawn system that they've got near the sort of trench area, like that bridge that stream that runs down the centre there, that is just horrific. Like, they can spawn trap the enemy into that area, and they literally just spawn in your sights. That is a terrible spawn. Like panic spawns on that map, and just in general, like with all the shrubs and just the greenery around that map, it's just horrific. It's just a absolute fuck fest for snipers, and I really do hate that map. I'm just putting it out that I hate it. I've got a MOAB on it, and I'll bring it you. I might bring it you the next week. How's that? I'll bring it you next week, but I get lucky with it. It's in the last 20 seconds of the game that I get it. And yeah, that map I hate for the very fact that there's a lot of snipers that rock Assassin and Blind Eye, so even with Assault you've no luck with that because it's such an open map. You'd think, I get a bit lucky there, you'd think it would be a good map for just pounding them with, like, I don't know, manual kill streaks like your Reaper, your Osprey gun, or your AC-130, but it really isn't, and Krakoon would vouch for that. It's just, people just run Assassin and Blind Eye on those maps. And back to what my point was, when the maps first were released, that is all people wore, Blind Eye and Assassin. And I'll tell you my perks up in a second, but what I'm getting at is, if you think these maps are bad, or this map in particular, and you've started playing it and you think, no, I hate it, people camp, blah blah blah, well, you needed to be there from the start. This map, when it was released, was fucking horrible. They would literally, it was just snipers, and to an extent, I think Infinity Ward tried to cater to the sniping sort of fanboys amongst the community, because that's all that we're playing this game. Well, this map, should I say, that is it. And it was only after a few sort of weeks or so that they started dying down and people started removing Assassin, and that it started to become more playable. And the technique, the area that I'm ADS in, just sort of to the left hand side of plane there, that's I believe that's called, what's that called? I think it's called drive. Yeah, I think there's front drive. I've got it written down here. There's drive and there's front drive. Front drive is the air spawn, that's just drive, that is. And the technique and sort of tactic that I'd advise you to do is sort of what I'm doing now, is just, I get a bit lucky there, is just flick back and forth between the two sort of buildings, particularly C-Dom and A and B-Dom. Again, don't forget C is the Sun House. So if you have a team, then the call-outs they're imperative. I mean, if you're running in a team, MOABs are far easier to get. Bear in mind, there's a few sort of factors that you have to take in consideration. Obviously, the internet connection. I mean, if you've got lag comp, then you basically, it's an uphill battle from there. And obviously the enemy team, as I've said, if your enemy team are running things like Assassin, like if all the enemy team are running Assassin in this game, I would probably not have dropped it, because I'm relying so heavily on my Marksman perk, which, again, I pointed out in yesterday's commentary, I believe. Was it yesterday's commentary? I don't know, I can't remember exactly, but Marksman is such a powerful perk, and Assassin just nullifies it completely, and I think I got a bit lucky, you could say. I don't believe in luck, but I think if that's the word you want to use, purely out of, I don't know, ease for this commentary, because I can't be asked getting into a semantic debate and things like that. But yeah, you know, look, you need to come across a decent lobby, and thankfully there was a lot of people not rocking Assassin in this, and the snipers, what I've tend to found on this map, the snipers usually camp either at rubble, which is at the tail end of the plane, which, when you spawn at the bottom, the sort of far right hand side of where I spawned, if you remember the start of the game, and I don't go anywhere near that, to be honest, from what I remember in this gameplay, and they sort of tend to go there. Some of them tend to go at the wing tip, which leads on to Mansion, which I'll point out when it comes on screen, and the others tend to just camp at Sunhouse. There's like a little bridgeway from Sunhouse, sort of seems to be into two sort of sections, and there's like a bridgeway that people tend to camp, or they tend to go prone from there. So, but yeah, enough about Assassin. I keep going on about it. But yeah, what I will say is, you need to get a bit jammy with your lobby, and that seems to be it seems to go in my favour for this lobby, because again, as I'm relying so heavily on a Marksman, and just why I'm speaking about the sort of Marksman Assassin discussion, you could say, the G36C is what I'm rocking. My favourite weapon. Krakoon 420 has sort of patented his G36C with red dot, and red dot with delta. He's got to be with the delta, and his silencer or suppressor. Either way, I'm not asked people that get anal about that. But this is definitely mine. Kick with silencer or suppressor, again, whatever tickles your fancy. I don't care. It's a suppressor, silencer, I don't care. But this is my setup. The G36C, a lot of people are put off by it because of the iron sights, but for me, I just persisted with it because initially I felt I was getting put down too quickly when I was rocking with the dual attachments, the two attachments there with the red dot and the suppressor. So I thought, right, if I can get my first shots off straight away, then that gives the kick. Or should I say, sorry, I'll scrap that. That gives the flinch feature that they've included in this game, which is complete bollocks, man. Now I just include the whole flinching aspect. It wasn't present in COD 4, and why they decided to bring it into this game is beyond me. It's pathetic. That's rubble that I'm ADS in, and that's sort of the tip, the far right hand side of Mansion that a lot of snipers tend to go as well. But what was I saying? Yeah, so kick. I prefer to use kick, and the recoil is minimal. It's all about the trigger finger. It's like, you know, itchy trigger finger, as Krakoon says. It's that pop technique, that pa 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 pa. And as I just get the MOAB there, and I call it in. And like I say, it's just staying alert. It is camping to an extent, but I think of it as maintaining a position. It's sort of aggressive camping in my eyes, as I just go rush out because I don't really care if I die or I don't. But yeah, the perks that I am running are Scavenger, Hardline, Marksman. Again, I cannot praise Marksman enough in this gameplay. Hardline instantly gets me Assassin because you obviously want to be shielded from not shielded. You want to be immune from the other people that will be rocking Marksman, which is pretty much a guarantee when this map was in its rotational sort of prime. Scavenger gives me that extra bit of ammo, which I need because again I'm sort of staying back, playing defensively, popping people off from a distance, and obviously I'm rocking Specialist, and the unlockable perks that I have in order are Assassin, Dead Silence. The reason I've got Dead Silence is this was before I had a decent headset. Well, nothing against the Turtle Beach X11 headset, it's just now I would obviously change that for Sitrep Pro. I rely so much on Sitrep Pro with my Astro A40s, but at the time I just had it just in case there were people creeping up behind me who were wearing Assassin and Blind Eye that would just sort of, ooh, sit down. That would make my motion sensor pretty much pointless. So I just had that in, just as a sort of safety net, and it had a few gameplays. It has helped me out, and you probably will see them throughout my sort of MOAB Monday series where I'll upload these black box gameplays. I will space them out because when I did get them, they were literally the 5 black box MOABs on the trot. But I'll space them out for a bit of diversity. And the last perk to unlock, should I say, Sleight Hand. And the reason I've got Sleight Hand last is pretty much because, again, I'm playing defensively, so I'm not having to, reload rapidly, and I'm not finding myself in situations where I'm in the enemy spawn and I'm panicking and I need to get the, Sleight Hand Pro definitely caters that rushing style of play, and for me it wasn't a necessity when I adopted this defensive approach to basically MOAB in this map. And there are a few little tips that I'd definitely recommend you try out. Again, and the thing with this map as well, it's a map that you can MOAB playing solo, because you don't, unlike for instance I'd say Hard Hat, where, as I've suggested in a previous MOAB Mondays episode, where it's best to control, I believe it's A and B flag, and then control the tunnel region. It's better if you run a party in that. But with this, you can literally just maintain that construction building all by yourself, and it has worked. It's worked for me in the past. As you can tell there, I got 37-4. I'm playing with a few guys there. I'll put the relevant links in the description to those, and I'll just leave you with the map off of Call of Duty Elite with the relevant callouts, which I don't know if you enjoy these. I've found them quite useful, again, if you're playing with a party, if you just memorise them. There's not a lot that you have to learn, but oh well. And I think that's everything I wanted to talk about in this commentary. Is it? Yes, it is. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope they've found some of these little tips useful. Again, I'm not an amazing player, but these certain bits of, I don't know, I don't want to use the word tips again, but I'm going to have to. Certain tips that help me out get MOABs, and if they can help me, then no doubt they can help you. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'll do a commentary for tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, and hope you have a good day. Peace.